Here's the deal. If you're running an MSP on gut feeling and spreadsheets, you're not running a business. You're running a very expensive hobby that's slowly killing you. Most MSP owners I talk to are working 60 plus hours a week, constantly putting out fires. Have no clue if they're actually making money or just staying busy. They've got techs running around, tickets piling up, and clients complaining, but they can't tell you why because they're not measuring anything that actually matters. I've been in this game for over 2 decades. I've seen MSPs with brilliant technical teams go out of business while others with average skills build million-dollar operations. The difference isn't talent, it's measurement. Right now, 81% of MSPs are making business decisions based on emotion and guesswork instead of data. That's not a business strategy. That's gambling with your family's future. Today, I'm going to show you the exact 4 numbers that separate chaotic MSPs from systematized ones. These aren't vanity metrics or feel-good dashboards. They are performance indicators that will tell you exactly where your business is bleeding time and money, and more importantly, how to stop it. I'm going to break down the 4 critical metrics every MSP must track, show you the exact benchmarks that separate winners from losers, and give you the simple weekly dashboard that will transform how you run your business. Point number 1, the backlog reality check. Lead time and cycle time. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine running a restaurant where you don't know how long customers wait for their food. Sounds insane, right? But that's exactly what most MSPs are doing with their tickets. They know they're busy, but they have no idea if they're efficient. Here's what I mean. You can't gauge backlog or performance because you're not measuring anything useful. Backlog, time spent, lead time, cycle time, these are your business vital signs. Lead time tells you how long tickets sit in the system from entry to close. Cycle time tells you how long the actual work takes. Without these 2 numbers, you're flying blind. I worked with an MSP owner last year who swore he needed 3 more techs. His team was swamped. Tickets were piling up. Clients were complaining. So we pulled the data. Turns out his average lead time was over 96 hours. That means tickets were not being completed for as much as 4 business days, almost 1 full week. His cycle time, 40 minutes. The actual work only took 40 minutes on average, but clients were waiting 4 days to get the ticket completed. That's not a capacity problem. That's a priority and process problem. Here's what my research shows. Best-in-class MSPs maintain an average lead time of under 3 days. That means under 72 business hours from ticket entry to ticket close. And their average time on ticket, blended across help desk, support desk, and NSOC, is under 45 minutes. MSPs with performance like this see significantly less client churn and overall higher customer satisfaction. That's not a coincidence. That's cause and effect. When you track these numbers, you could discover that your busy team is dragging tickets out and customer satisfaction longer than necessary. The solution is simple but powerful. Start tracking lead time on every ticket, the moment it comes in to the moment it's closed. Track cycle time, every minute spent actually working that ticket to resolution. Your lead time will vary by backlog load and your cycle time will vary by issue type. But by knowing the average, you know what normal looks like for your team. And here's the kicker. Once you have this data, you can actually give your clients an estimate with confidence as to when their issue will be resolved. No more guessing, no more we'll get it done when we can. You become predictable, and predictability builds trust. Point number 2, the performance equation, techie time versus non-techie time. Now let's talk about the metric that will blow your mind when you first see it. Performance is very simply how much techie time I spend during the day versus non-techie time. When we're fixing things for a client, we're either giving them value toward their managed services or getting profit for us for time and materials. When we're doing non-techie things, travel, meetings, admin, those count against performance. Let me break down the benchmarks that actually matter. A help desk tech who does no travel, they can get as high as 90 to 95% techie time. They're chained to their desk, literally just cutting through one ticket after another as fast as they can. Your tier 2 tech who does some travel, they're going to come in around 70 to 75% because they have to spend time doing travel. Unless you charge for travel, then they'll be back up in the 90 to 95% range. Someone who splits their time between service delivery and projects, maybe the tier 3 who's only jumps in for really bad problems, they might only hit 50% techie time, and that's okay. Here's where it gets interesting. I had a client track this for the first time, and he discovered his tier 2 tech was hitting 45% instead of 75%. Do the math on that. That's 30% difference on a $75,000 a year salary. That's $22,500 in lost productivity annually per tech. Multiply that across a team of 5, and you're looking at over $100,000 disappearing into thin air every year. But here's what most MSP owners miss. This isn't about cracking the whip and demanding more work. It's about understanding where the time goes. Maybe that tech is stuck in unnecessary meetings. Maybe they're doing admin work that should be automated. Maybe your service coordination process is so broke, they spend half their day trying to figure out what to work on next. The revelation here is that most MSP owners think they need more techs when they actually need better processes. Track this metric for 30 days and you'll see exactly where your money is going. You'll identify the time vampires sucking productivity from your team, and you'll finally have the data to fix it. By the way, if you want the complete list of the top 10 pitfalls for most MSPs and how to avoid or fix them? Check out the link in the description for my free guide on the 10 reasons why your IT service sucks and how to fix them. It breaks down these top problems and shows you exactly how to address each. Point number 3, customer satisfaction, the truth detector. Here's something that'll make you uncomfortable. You should be tracking your customer satisfaction alongside every other metric. Not once a year in some survey nobody fills out, every week on your dashboard, right next to your performance numbers. Imagine if you had a graph that showed you the lead time on your tickets, cycle time, average age of a ticket, and customer satisfaction all in one place. You'd see the correlation immediately. When your lead times are consistent and your cycle times are improving, customer satisfaction follows. When these metrics are all over the place, client happiness tanks. The industry benchmark? A CSAT score of 70% or higher is considered excellent in B2B tech services. But here's what most MSPs miss. Customer satisfaction isn't just about being nice or fixing things fast. It's about predictability. Clients would rather know it'll take 24 hours consistently than be told sometime today and have it vary between 2 hours and 2 days. I got this graph that shows customer satisfaction, each tech individual efficiency, gauges for lead time, cycle time, and average time on ticket, and backlog size. We send it out once a week to the entire team, not to shame anyone, but to create visibility. When everyone can see how their work impacts the client happiness, behavior changes naturally. Here's a real example. One of my clients implemented this dashboard and discovered something shocking. Their fastest tech, the one closing the most tickets, had the lowest customer satisfaction scores. Why? He was cherry picking each ticket and rushing through them, leaving clients feeling unheard. Meanwhile, their slowest tech had the highest satisfaction because she actually listened to clients and solved the root problems, not just the symptoms. The connection is undeniable. MSPs with structured service process for tracking and regular KPI reviews see 25% less client churn over 2 years. That's millions in lifetime value preserved just by measuring and managing these numbers. When your clients see you're tracking and improving, when they get consistent service, when their experience becomes predictable, that's when they stop shopping around for other MSPs. Point number 4, process optimization, the compound effect. This is where the magic happens. This is how you get your life back. I want you to know the top 3 things that take the most amount of time and happen the most frequently. Let's say it's new workstation installs. You haven't got it figured out yet. Maybe you're mirroring them. Maybe you've got 20 different configurations for 20 different clients. On average, it takes you 2 hours. Here's the beautiful part. You shave just 10 minutes off of that process. Just 10 minutes through better documentation, a checklist, maybe a script that automates part of it. If you do 10 of those a month, you get back 100 minutes to the team. That time comes back to the backlog. Now multiply that thinking across every common task. But you can only do this if you're tracking time in real time or as close to it as possible. This goes back to those things I call the 10 golden rules. All work is done against a ticket. One issue, one ticket. These are the fundamentals. Without them, you're guessing. Let me give you a real-world example that'll blow your mind. I worked with an MSP that was drowning in password reset tickets. They were taking 15 minutes each. Happened 50 times a month. That's 12.5 hours of tech time on password resets. We implemented a self-service portal and cut it to 3 minutes for the ones that still came through. That's 10 hours per month returned to the team. 120 hours per year. That's 3 weeks of full-time tech productivity recovered from one process improvement. The timeline for transformation is shorter than you think. If you start now, in 30 to 60 days, you'd have usable data. Within 6 months, you'd have very reliable data. Within a year, you'd have an entire year's history. And you could tell exactly how many hours it takes to service every one of your clients over the year. You'd know which clients are profitable, which are draining resources, and exactly where to focus your improvement efforts. This is continuous incremental improvement in action. This is how you move from reactive firefighting to proactive business management. You're not just working in your business anymore, you're working on it, with data to guide every decision. Now look, everything I just told you is completely useless if you don't actually implement it. And I get it. You're drowning in tickets right now, barely keeping your head above water. The thought of adding measurement systems on top of everything else feels impossible. But here's what most MSP owners miss. Having the right metrics is only half the battle. The other half is building a team that actually uses this data to make decisions without you being involved in every conversation. That's the difference between being stuck in a technical prison and running a real business. If you want to see how other MSP owners have used this exact system to cut their work week from 60 hours to 40 hours while increasing profitability, grab my Coach's MSP Playbook at the link in the description. It's got the framework to help you get your MSP business to the next level. Now here's the catch. You can't measure anything if your data is garbage. And for most of you, your data is garbage because your PSA is configured like a dumpster fire. In the next video, I'm going to show you why your expensive PSA is actually the bottleneck sabotaging your growth. I'll show you how to clean up your statuses and workflows so your tool stops creating chaos and finally starts giving you the truth. Watch it next, because you can't manage what you can't measure, and you can't measure chaos.